Hi there, I'm Mary Susie from Bead Me a Story. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am going to be doing what I call a dimensional right angle weave chain. So this is made with a right angle weave that I am going to expand upon. And I just want you to see that the little portions of this is three-dimensional. It's still very drapey, very loose. I think it's a neat technique. I've never seen it before. That is not to say it hasn't been done before, but I am very partial to long skinny chains. That's just what I like to wear. So there's two different techniques that I'm going to show you. The first technique is the part that uses seed beads. So in this particular chain, you're seeing size 11 seed beads. This part, we're using bugle beads with seed beads in between. And in this other chain, I have used size 8 seed beads and some little bit larger bugle beads. And I think both are just equally as fun. I love them both. I wanted you to see the contrast of the different looks that you can get. And like I said, I'll go through each of the two techniques. They work flawlessly together. And then I'll just point out on this one, I have incorporated some chainmail with the seed bead portions to just give that a more random look. So you can use beads that you have at home, or of course we at beadmeastory.com carry beads as well, so feel free to take a look at our offerings too. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to be actually incorporating two different right angle weave techniques. I would call these dimensional right angle weave because we're going to take a flat right angle weave and we're going to give it a little bit more body and dimension, but make it work for a nice small chain. So I have a piece of thread here and my size 10 beading needle. We're going to use size 11 seed beads in two colors. So for one technique, we're just going to use two colors of size 11 seed beads. And for the other technique that I'm going to show you, we're going to be using some bugle beads. So these particular bugle beads are about 4 millimeters long, but you can really use anything you want to. I would keep it in line with the size 11s just because we're trying to make a very small chain. So you do want to use these smaller bugle beads, but really any length will do. Okay, so let's start our first technique. So the very first thing I want to do is, and I wanted to see if these little lids would work for me. But I might pour my stuff out on the bead mat. We'll see. Might be easier. I think it is easier to pick up the beads. I can tell that already. But it's nice to keep things organized this way. Okay, so I've got, I'm just gonna say amethyst and gold. Okay, this is like a matte amethyst AB, and then I've got gold metallic, matte amethyst AB, gold metallic. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up 4 beads to start with, and we're going to pass back through all of the beads. This is mainly just so this first row doesn't fall off. I'm not going to knot. I'm going to leave enough tail so that I can work this into the chain, because of course we're making a really tiny bead chain here. And then once I get it around those 4, I'm going to go ahead and go back up through the amethyst, and then I'm going to pull everything together. Okay, so you can see that all 4 of my seed beads are there. We've got the bottom, a side, a top, and a side. Okay, so this is a right angle weave. This is what right angle weave will look like. Now, what I want to do is I want to make this dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up another gold. I'm going to build up my side beads. So I'm going to pick up a gold, and then I'm going to jump up to the top here. So I'm going to go through my amethyst bead, and I'm on the right hand side. You can see my thread is coming out the right hand side here, and I'm going in from right to left into the top bead, and I'm skipping the gold bead that's right here. Okay, and when I pull this tight, it doesn't really matter if it's on the front or the back. I want this to sit on the front just because that's how we are seeing it. But the whole point of doing this is that this gives you some dimension, okay, so that this row is now going to stick out. And then I'm going to do the other side. So the other side, I'm going to be coming back towards me. I'm on the left side. And I'm going to come back through this very first amethyst bead, okay? So I'm just following the same direction that the thread is going. I'm not, doing anything new. I'm just kind of adding side beads into the pattern that's already here, okay? And then that one is there, okay? So I have a top bead and a bottom bead, and then I have 4 side beads. So I know this looks a little wonky, and that's only because I'm just on the first row. But once we do more, you'll see that this looks really neat. Okay, so I'm going to come back up through on the right side, either one of these beads, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to go across that top bead again before I start a new row. Okay, and I can kind of pull this tight at this point so that my beads sit where they want to sit. I swear this one, I was forcing it to the front, but it really wants to be in the back. So don't fight against the beads. If they want to be in the front or the back, just let them do what they want to do. It's totally okay. Okay. And now you can kind of see, if I let you look from the top, you can see there's the top bead and then the 4 beads around it. And they're going to sit a little bit better as we go along. So I'm going to pick up a gold, an amethyst, and a gold. Okay. And you can see my thread is coming out this top bead to the right. So I want to keep following this pattern. So I'm going to go through this same bead in that same direction. So I'm going to come in from the left and come out on the right. Okay, so this is just plain old right angle weave. I picked up 3 new beads. End of story, nothing exciting going on. Okay, now I'm going to pick up another gold bead on this right side to build up my side bead again. And I'm going to pass through the top, going from right to left. I'm just following the direction that the thread is going, not working against anything. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up another gold bead, and I'm going to go across the bottom. So from left to right. So I'm just going in circles, and these circles are going in a counterclockwise motion. Okay. And then you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 gold beads and then my amethyst. Okay, so I'm down at the bottom bead right now, the bottom amethyst bead, and I'm just going to come up through one of the gold beads, doesn't matter which one, and then through the amethyst bead at the top. Okay, and then you can see that kind of starts taking shape. Plus I have this first one that I can hold on to, and I didn't do anything with my thread, so I can tighten that up at the end. So let's do one more of these. So I'm going to pick up a gold, an amethyst, and a gold. Okay, and my thread is coming out from left to right, so I want to pass the needle through from left to right. This is my right angle weave. Okay, then I'm going to pick up a gold, going to pass through from right to left through the top amethyst bead. And then I'm going to pass down through the bottom amethyst bead. I'm going to pick up a gold and pass down through this one at the bottom. Okay, and as I pull everything tight, kind of cinches up our little flower shape we have going on there. I'm going to come back up through one of the gold beads and then back through my amethyst bead that's at the top. Okay, and that is all there is to that. Oops. But I just want to show you that you get, that it's nice and dimensional. So let me show you the chain that I'm working on. And then you can see the next technique we're going to go to. So this is what these look like. And I love this because it gives you a little bit of dimensionality, right? But you still have just that single bead holding each row together, and it keeps the chain very fluid and gives it a ton of movement. Okay? So next, I'm going to move on to using the bugle beads in the chain. Okay, so now I'm going to continue on almost in the same way, but we're going to switch to bugle beads. So I'm going to pick up a bugle bead, a seed bead, and a bugle bead. Okay. Let me push these together just so you can see it. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to pass through. I'm just going to continue making a right angle weave. I'm going to pass through this bottom matte amethyst bead. Okay. And now we have a right angle weave, and the sides are now bugle beads. Now here's the big difference with what I want to do from before. I'm going to pick up a bugle bead to add to these side rows, right? So I'm still trying to add dimensionality. But instead of going, so this is my thread right now is moving from left to right. So instead of going up to the top and moving from right to left, I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to also move from left to right up here. This is going to give my bugle bead a little bit of an angle. Okay, so you can see I'm going from left to right. This is going to angle my bugle bead and not only give this row dimensionality, but it's going to kind of give it a little slant on my front and back bugle beads so that it gives it a little bit more texture on those. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a second bugle bead, and again I'm coming down through the bottom row, but you can see here, let me tilt your bead is going to tilt on you, so just if you need to kind of put it back in place. So you can see the string was going from right to left. So down here I also want the string to go from right to left. So your string at the top and at the bottom is going to be the same direction. So instead of going around in a circle now, we're kind of mimicking what's happening at the top and the bottom, and that's going to give you this little bit of texture that we've got going here. So see how this one kind of tilts in and that one kind of tilts out. They look like they're a little bit angled, and as you go along, this is just going to give you a really cool texture. So just like before, I'm just going up through any one of these bugle beads, whatever was closest, and now I can just pass through my gold bead in a circular fashion. Okay, and that is what that row is going to look like. Okay, so let me do this one more time. So I'm going to pick up a bugle bead, a seed bead, and a bugle bead. I'm just forming a right angle weave. So I can see that my string is exiting out this way, so I want to go in the same direction as the string and pull this up into a right angle weave. Okay, so I just have like a little box there. Now I'm going to take a bugle bead and this string, the way I have it turned, this string is going from left to right. So as I go through the top, I'm going to also go left to right. I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Now my string is coming out from right to left. So I'm going to pick up this next bugle bead and I'm going to go from the right to the left. Just got my string a little kicked up, no big deal. Okay, and there you have it. So you can see this is still 4 sides, just like what we did with the size 11 seed beads. But it gives the sides of this some angles and some different textures. Okay, and then let me bring in my chain I'm working on again, just so you can see. And you can kind of see what this looks like as we go along. So you get all these cool little spokes with your seed beads, and then you get all of these fun textured shiny bugle beads going on that look like they're really randomly placed. And it's a really pretty chain, but you can see this has wonderful fluid movement. It's going to hang really nicely. It's going to take a little while to do this, but these are some really simple techniques that make an absolutely gorgeous chain. So I hope you enjoyed this. Pull out all of your seed beads at home and give this project a try. I promise you're going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. Thanks so much for joining me. Please be sure to like and follow us on YouTube. And of course, we have seed beads and all sorts of other supplies available at beadmeastory.com.